Women in Focus, a podcast by British Naturism. Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Women in Focus, brought to you by British Naturism. My name is Helen and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking to Karie from Beverley Hills Hotel in Costa Calma, which is in Fuerteventura, one of the Spanish Canary Islands. She was our host for our women-only naturist holiday back in April, and we're going to talk about that, how she came to set up and own a naturist hotel, and plenty more. So please welcome Karie. Welcome, Karie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. Yeah, I'd like to say sitting here in the rain, but obviously it's about 36 today. Very hot.
Yeah. Does it actually ever rain there?
About twice a year, I think. Yeah, maybe 3 times a year. Overnight, sometimes you wake up in the morning and there's kind of dewy stuff, but it's not rain.
Okay, well, next time it properly rains there, we need a naked dancing in the rain photo.
You're on.
Okay, it's a deal.
Challenge accepted.
So, Karie, for those that don't know, Karie owns a resort in Fuerteventura. Tell us your story, Karie. How did you come to owning this and offering it out to naturists? What's the story behind it?
Okay. Have you got all day? Okay. So 22 years ago, my now ex-husband and I bought property here in Fuerteventura because we were over in Lanzarote. We loosely talked around getting property, as holiday homes and an investment. And it all stemmed from that. So we first bought this villa 22 years ago, and then we bought a couple of others that we've since moved on. And then never lived over here, but I used to holiday here half a dozen times a year. And we employed managers to look after the properties. They weren't naturist. And then 10, 11 years ago, I got divorced and then decided, actually, why don't I go and try living over there, which was always my dream anyway. And if I didn't like it, I could have moved back to England. And the rest is history. So then, first of all, it was families with children, but that didn't really work for me personally. And then I made it into a surf hostel for quite a few years. And then good timing. When COVID started, I decided to turn it into naturist, specifically for naturists.
I didn't realise it was quite a newish transition into naturism. So what was the reasoning behind that then? Did you already know that naturism was quite prevalent in Fuerteventura?
Yeah, absolutely. So every weekend, I'd go and sunbathe nude on the local beaches. And then it was like an epiphany, really. I thought, I wonder if there's people who'd want to come and stay here nude, because some guests had already asked in the past, do you mind if we take our clothes off? And I never had a problem with it. And then I just had this idea, why don't I just go total naturist? So then I spoke to BN because I thought I need a bit of credibility here. And there was a bit of resistance, to be honest, because at that time, there was a lot of people who were used to naturism being done in a certain way, let alone some woman coming in and opening a place up on her own. But there was a lady who worked at BN at the time who was really, really supportive. And we turned it round from negative comments on the forum. And then what we did was a competition pre-COVID for a week to come and stay here. And as a result of that, it just took off. And then I do lots of sponsorship and marketing stuff with BN. That's how most of my clients come to me now.
So initially, when it began, I guess people sometimes can be a little bit resistant to change. Don't fix it if it's not broken. But, if you don't change anything unless someone's going to make a stand or take the plunge into something new. And often you've got to do that for things to work.
Absolutely. And there was a lot of times in the beginning where I thought, what on earth have I done? Because there was very few women who declared that they were naturists. Whereas now, we all say, and we're proud of it. Whereas even, what would it be, 4 years ago, it was very, very male dominated. And but, time has proved itself now, because although originally people came through British Naturism, now the vast majority, probably 90% of my guests, are word of mouth recommendation. So that's even better. But yeah, that was how it started. And I was like, what on earth have I done? Maybe I've made a mistake here. But yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit then. So would you, if you had to label yourself, would you call yourself a naturist?
Probably not initially. Now I do,
Right.
most definitely. But in the beginning, no, I was just businesswoman.
Yeah.
And I was entrepreneurial, looking for a business opportunity that from experience, all the things I've done in the past. I mean, blow my own trumpet. I was businesswoman of the year when I was 25. And then I worked for Prince of Wales. So I've been to Buckingham Palace a few times and worked my way up in that organisation until I met my ex-husband and we produced theatre shows. And it was quite funny, really, now when I look back, because the last theatre show I did was called The Naked Truth. And now I'm running a naked villa. But that was about...
Oh, the irony.
Yeah. And if somebody had told me, probably even 5 or 6 years ago, this is what I'd be doing, I would have thought they were completely mad. But honestly, it's the best thing I've ever done.
Fantastic.
So I'm passionate about it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's clear to see.
Oh, thank you. No, I like, it's nice seeing people have a good time, especially first time naturists, who come and say, this is so liberating. Yeah, there was a guy last week, this was his first naturist holidays, and his wife died only a few months ago. And he gave me the review that exceeded all his expectations. And, and it was so lovely that, and the fact that he even chose here to come and have his first experience as well was, I sussed him out beforehand, though. We had a chat about that when he was here. He was like, he booked online, but then I messaged him to see what his background was. Because although I do accept single males, I do like to know who they are, where they're from, what their background is.
Okay, so do you do that for every new guest?
Yeah, single males, really. Yeah, I do.
Okay. And have you ever had to decline someone on the basis of your first impressions when messaging them or whatever?
Sadly, yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Because they get the wrong impression of what exactly is going to go on here. So, yeah.
Okay, so that leads me on to my next point then.
Mm-hmm.
What can one expect from a holiday at Beverley Hills Hotel?
Relaxation, peace, beautiful swimming pool, and lots of sunshine. And literally that is it. And, to be socially nude with like-minded people. Very, very simple. But people seem to make it more complicated. And it's not. It's the most simplest holiday you could wish for. If you want parties and nightlife and, go to another resort. Yeah. And if you really want anything more than non-sexual nudity, which is all I'm offering, then maybe go to Cap d'Agde or somewhere like that, because this is the opposite of that. Absolute opposite.
As a single woman then, yes, granted you do your research with guests, is there any sort of expectation as the host then for you to behave in a certain way?
Generally, no, it's just a nice environment, just a relaxed environment, because I respect the fact that people are on holiday and they don't want me, hanging around all the time anyway. Contrary to what the newspapers like to think, I don't meet people in the nude and I don't serve breakfast and offer anything more than just being friendly and going to a barbecue or something. So I have to manage expectations sometimes because I think that's the nature of it. So, yeah, I've tried to make it clear what exactly to expect.
When I met you in April 2024, I remember you saying to me that some people have said to you, this is a naturist hotel holiday place. Why aren't you naked? And you had a very good response to that.
Yeah, it's probably my stock answer. But I tend to throw it back at them because it is only men that ask me that. And I throw it back at them and say, what do you do? And they might say, well, I'm a dentist, for example. Mm-hmm. And then I say, oh, do you go to work nude? And then they're like, no. I'm like, well, this is my work. So why would you expect me to be nude? So, yeah, and that normally answers the question without answering the question.
Yeah.
But if I feel super comfortable, then, I mean, the Sunday when we went to the beach and stuff, then I'm more than happy to strip off.
Yeah.
But generally, no, I don't walk around with no clothes on because I'm not on holiday.
Yeah. So I guess you're keeping like a professional distance there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I might wear a sarong or something and, go down for aperitifs at 6 or something. But generally, no. I mean, it's the same as Fiona said with her massage, that she doesn't, she'll do naked massage, but she's not naked herself. I feel this is exactly the same situation. And also, a lot of guests have said when they've gone to other resorts, those owners aren't naked all the time either. I think some maybe are, but some aren't. So, yeah, and that's just my choice. Yeah.
I suppose in the early days, it was a little bit of a novelty thing for people. Oh my God, this woman has opened a naturist place in Fuerteventura. Let's go and check it out, see what it's all about. And then they were probably disappointed that it was actually genuine naturism.
Very disappointed, probably. It's like, oh, well, they're the ones that don't come back. And I'm not sorry for that. So, yeah, I think that is very true. Yeah. And I mean, you'll remember when we initially said that we were going to do a ladies' week, there was a lot of bad comments about that, that we were excluding men and I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. So you just have to kind of power through all that, which I guess both of us have done in our careers so far anyway, and kind of ignore all that noise and just continue with the dream of what we wanted. And now look at it. Next year, we've sold out for a whole week and the second week is half sold anyway. So
yeah, I mean, that just shows, just to give it context, I went on a textile holiday with my daughter in Fuerteventura, and Karie and I arranged to meet for a coffee. And then this idea arose that perhaps we should do a ladies only holiday. And we were both a bit like, oh, don't know if it's going to work, blah, blah, blah. But you have to try these things. And what it has shown us both is that by providing these opportunities, you're providing an entry to women that may be resistant for whatever reason. And once they've got into it, and we have a case in point with our Sally.
Yes.
She's now joined BN. She's joined her local naturist club, and she no longer sees gender. And that's what it's all about. It's not excluding men from it. It's providing an entry level for women.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say to you, it's about, what I'm offering is a simple naturist holiday, nothing more. We both know naturists, we're so like-minded, never in life do you immediately meet people, in my experience, that you click with. Whereas most of that's why they come back, because they have such a lovely time. Even if it's not for me, it's for other guests they've met here and they have a reunion or something a few months later. But yeah, I just like to keep it simple,
It's like both of us have done bits and pieces in newspapers and magazines and stuff. And it's always the sensationalist story, like, naked woman has resort, or naked woman has Christmas dinner in the nude.
Yeah.
And then you get all the silly comments that go with it. And it was just like, so what? I'm having Christmas dinner without my clothes on.
I know.
And you think of these people on their keyboards and you're thinking, what are you thinking goes on?
Exactly. And the last one was, I think that was probably the Daily Mail or something. And it said, Karie has, this is how she deals with erections.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, pardon? That was the headline.
And you'd probably never even mentioned that word.
But it was on my website, because that's the most asked question. I get sent a lot of nude, not naturist photos, lewd photos.
Dick pics, let's be honest.
And so I've now got a specific answer to that question on my website. So, because it's what happens if I get an erection. And I'm like, I've never, ever seen an erection, and okay, maybe I'm not looking for it, but I haven't seen it because it just doesn't happen, because it's not that kind of environment where people are, it's just not. And so I told the Daily Mail about my question and answers on my page, and I guess that's where they got it from.
Yeah.
So they took that literally, and there was hundreds of trolls on there saying things.
Yeah.
And it was, crazy.
With the media stuff and newspapers, every time I do something, I learn something more. Like, I never mention members.
Yes.
the rise in members. No, that's a no. We don't talk about that.
Absolutely.
Things that ordinarily it's just part of normal conversation, but you think, well, how will they misinterpret what I say? So you've always got to think about it.
I've not thought of that, but I've probably said that.
Yeah, definitely give it some thought. So yes, the ladies' holiday that we had, Like I said earlier, we were both a little bit worried whether it was going to be a success.
Yeah.
And it really was. Some of us were seasoned naturists. For 3, it was their first time. All of them got involved, didn't they?
They did.
All of them enjoyed days out, drinking by the pool, going out for meals.
Yeah.
So much so that I think you can tell me better that 3 or 4 of us have rebooked.
3 so far.
And we've got a whole host of new people coming.
We really have. Yeah. That's for April 25. And then May, there's 4 who have already booked. And somebody was inquiring yesterday, actually, how many? Because I think I can fill it.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was brilliant. And then my friend's like, well, you're going to have to do another one, do a 3rd one. I'm like, well, bring it on. It's because it's brilliant. I love doing it.
Some of us were worried about women en masse being a bit too much. It wasn't, because everyone respected each other's moments. If they wanted to go and be private or quiet somewhere, that was okay. Nobody bothered you, and they just made sure you were okay. And then
and I think because everything in Fuerteventura is outdoorsy, so you could just take yourself off for a walk or go and sit on the back terrace, or you didn't need to be in everybody's company. And then in the evenings, I must admit, I was quite surprised, because I knew I was going to book a table at all the different restaurants every night. But I never expected everyone to come every night, because that's personal choice. I did think that some people would say, no, we're doing our own thing tonight or whatever. So that was quite a nice surprise that everybody chose to come and have dinner together.
Yeah, I think that was everybody's, like, I don't know, homing point. Do your thing in the day and then catch up and speak about what we did that day, and, what we're going to do tomorrow, and who wants to do this. Or I'm doing this, and so-and-so's doing that. And, it worked really, really well. And we've all stayed in touch as well, which is really nice.
Exactly. Yeah. And I saw one of the ladies did a big article in a magazine.
Oh, yes.
Steph did Naturist Life, I think, about 4 pages.
Oh, cool.
Did you see it?
Was that about the holiday?
It was about the holiday and about her and her life. And yeah. But it was good. I opened it and I was like, wow, okay. Yeah, very good.
Oh, good. So again, another lady being public and confident and passionate about promoting naturism.
Yeah.
And that's what I find when women do actually try it, when they get over whatever barrier it is or they have into naturism, then they just like go, oh, wow, 100 miles an hour. I'm going to tell everybody I know about this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I spoke to Tim, Clover Spa, this week, and he said you're doing a ladies' day or weekend or something there. So I think they're brilliant. Yeah. What are you planning then?
So we're collaborating with Clover Spa to do a ladies only spa day.
Oh, okay.
Within that, you get a 20-minute treatment. We're doing a luxury afternoon tea with Prosecco. Ooh. You get use of all the spa facilities, so the hot tub, sauna, steam room, gardens. And then for those that want to, there's special prices on the rooms. So if you want to make a weekend of it, if you want to share a room with another female, you can. But yeah, so we're doing that.
Brilliant. So you have got a date for it?
We have. It's the 12th of October.
Oh, good. I was hoping you were going to say September, because I'm back in September. I'm going to go to Suffolk. I was looking on their website today and it looks fab. And those pods they've got, I want to get the pods here.
You should. They are lovely. They are really lovely.
I know, but the transport, is tricky to drive them down or bring them down. But I would just want to go and experience it anyway, because it looks beautiful.
Yeah, you'll like it. The clubhouse is ultra modern. It's just really nice.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go. And then I'm thinking next summer, try and come back and go to some events. I'm missing out in the summer. I want to come and go to some events.
We're very lucky, actually, in the UK. We might not have the weather, but we've certainly got the opportunity to do these events. There's Nude Fest, plenty of online stuff if we don't have the weather. So we are lucky in that regard.
Yeah, I'm definitely in my diary. I'm like, July and August, I want to be in England next year. I think people don't believe me when I say this is my low season, but it really is, because there's so much to do in England in the summer, and the school holidays, the flights are horrendous.
Oh, they are, yeah.
So, that is why it's my low season. So watch this space for next year. I'll be over there. Yeah.
But that's the really good thing about naturism. Obviously we get very busy in the summer with all the things that are going on, and you don't see these people again till next summer, but it's almost like you saw them yesterday. You just pick up where you left off, like, hi, how you doing? And it's all just completely relaxed and lovely. It's true friendships, isn't it?
I could not agree more. Exactly the same. Some people come to me twice a year and some once a year. And yeah, is exact. And then they say, "Oh, do you remember when we did XYZ?" Or "How is so and so doing, who's also stayed here?" And then I'm like, "Oh gosh, yeah, you know them, don't you? Because they were here last time you were here." And yeah, I know. That's why it's so lovely, isn't it? Because it's like, just a really nice community.
Definitely.
So yeah, and I've got the Naturist Ramblers.
Oh yes, I met Laurie at Nudefest.
Oh, did you? You're right.
Yes.
He
came and introduced himself. You don't know me, but I know you. I'm like,
yeah, because I think when he was here, I was going, Helen this, Helen that. And we did this, and so we're following that formula. And he's got 11 men coming, but I've started. I do yoga regularly, so I've got a male yoga teacher. So he's coming when the boys are here. Hopefully, like with the ladies, you try different activities because they're available. So he's coming to teach yoga for that week, and then Laurie's got all sorts of naked walks and things planned. So that'll be interesting. But I don't think the skipper on the yacht will be quite so happy with a boat of naked men as he was with naked women somehow.
No, but he was lovely, and the food that he provided was really good. It was such a good day.
No, it's great. And the weather helps, and yeah.
And we were able to skinny dip off the back of the boat, which was incredible. Really, really good.
That's what I was going to say when Ronnie swam to retrieve a hat.
She was like Bond girl, just dove off.
Yeah.
Okay, she can do it. I'm going to have a go.
Yeah. No, it's good times.
Yeah. We saw Ronnie actually at Nudefest, which was lovely, and met her husband. So, yeah.
See, this is it. I've just, missed out on all of this stuff because I was trekking in Peru. I won't be organising that for next year.
Oh, tell us about that. Tell us about that. That was a big deal.
It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Seriously, there were lots of tears. 26 miles in 4 days camping in Peru, in the mountains. But the worst thing was the altitude sickness, because it was quite hard to breathe. And I did carry an oxygen canister, but the porters had massive oxygen canisters. So it was hard. But then I was with people who had prosthetic legs. So how could I complain? And that's really what motivated me. And I raised £2,500 from the naturist community primarily.
Fantastic.
And altogether we raised 66,000 for Finding Your Feet, which is a charity that helps amputees.
That's amazing.
So, it was a phenomenal trip. Absolutely. And that was 4,200 meters high. And week after next, I'm doing Pico de la Zarza, which is the highest mountain in Fuerteventura, which is only 600. So 600 to 4,000.
That's a doddle.
I'll probably run up it, and chuck my poles to the side. So, it was good.
Do you like walking then, generally?
I like it more than I used to like it.
Or is it the challenge of...
I think it's the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the challenge, yeah. I prefer lying on a sunbed on a naturist beach.
Oh, of course.
But if I've got a hike, and of course I've got all the gear now, so I'm quite anxious to use it. Not that I need half of the stuff, obviously, because of the heat here. But it was good. I'm not there doing Kilimanjaro, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do Kili. Probably I won't. I'll come to Nudefest instead.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, no, sorry, darling, I can't go and climb Kili because I've got to go to a naturist festival.
Yes, I'm too busy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So...
On our holiday, there was a couple of your friends that were on the holiday that aren't naturists.
Yeah.
How were they about it all?
Yeah. Well, one of them surprised me completely when she even booked. Yeah, which was fantastic. And she participated as much as everybody else, didn't she? So, she had an amazing time. In fact,
she wasn't nervous or anything?
Not that I know of. No. And then Nikki, who's like my best friend, really, her only issue was her job, which would make it difficult to be a public naturist. So I was thrilled when she participated as well. And it was brilliant about the photos, the disclaimer about where the photos would be distributed. And that made everybody feel safe.
Good.
Because, none of our photos is going to be spread all over the internet. So, she loved it. She's back next year, so you'll see her again.
So you're obviously doing something right. How many apartments do you have?
4 at the minute, soon to be 5. So yeah, 4. And one's got 2 bedrooms and the other 3 have got 1 bedroom each.
And do they all have sofa beds in the lounge as well?
Yeah, so I can take
Yeah.
more people. We were 10/11, weren't we?
Yeah.
Which is a comfortable size for a group.
Mm. You're obviously doing something right. Like I say, it's a good formula you've got going on.
Not sure what, but yeah.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? You're very welcoming. You're not in people's business. You step back and let people enjoy it, but you're on hand if people need you. And that's perfect hosting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. If people want me to join them for drinks or, recommendations of places to go or something, I will. But if not, I just keep out of the way.
So we'll put your website on the show notes as well, so that if people want to come and book a stay at Beverley Hills Hotel, they'll know where to go.
Thank you.
So you took part in the Women in Focus written series for me. It might have been a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
Now, one of the questions I ask all the women that take part is whether they think there's a difference between the terms or the descriptors naturist and nudist. Do you think there's a difference?
I don't think there is a difference. I think the Europeans call it nudist and the British say naturist. Generally, I mean, nudist might sound a bit more frivolous than naturist. And sometimes naturist gets confused as naturalist.
Naturalist, yeah.
And people think I go out looking at leaves. Do you know what I mean? And I hug trees. Well, I do that as well, but I might do that in the nude. So, yeah, I don't really like the term nudist, if I'm honest. I'd be happy to call myself a naturist, but not happy to call myself a nudist for some reason. But maybe that's just a British, like Americans say pants and we say trousers. Maybe it's that kind of difference rather than anything more serious. Not sure.
What sort of advice would you give to women?
Mm-hmm.
I hear this a lot, and I ask most women that I have on. You might tell them you're a naturist, and they'll go, "Oh, good for you," but I haven't got the body for that. What would you say to them?
Try it. Yeah, try it. Probably step by step. That's what we say here. Poco y poco. So maybe go topless and then wait until you feel comfortable being topless. And then, if you decide to take the bottoms off, go for it. But make sure you find a safe environment, because otherwise I think you'd just be put off for life. And yeah, so maybe try it at home to start with, wandering around at home till then you forget you're not wearing clothes.
So it's very difficult. Simon used to say this to me all the time. Oh, you've got nothing to worry about, blah, blah, blah. But in my head, I'm like, I'm not getting naked. That's just weird. Like, I'm too fat. I've got cellulite. I've got stretch marks.
Yeah.
And it's only when you get or cross that barrier that you think, actually, none of that matters. But it's getting across that bit in the first place.
Yeah, because nobody's looking at you. But yeah, I would say just try it and then comment. Be open-minded to just think, I'm going to have a go. And if you don't like it, cover up, wear a sarong or something.
That's exactly it. It's not like a tattoo, it's not permanent. If you don't like it, you can put your clothes back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I have loads of couples who the lady starts off the week just being topless, and then by the end of the week, she's in the pool like everybody else. So, and I'm happy about that. And also a few couples where the lady is not naturist, but then have said, right, when we come back next time, I'm going to try because I feel safe here.
That was going to be my next question, actually. So at your place, you don't have to be nude. It's not a rule. You have to get nude or out.
No.
So if you are someone whose partner isn't a naturist yet or is not sure what it's all about, then you're providing a safe environment for people to try that at their own pace.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. That's why I use the term clothing optional most of the time when I can remember, but it's truly clothing optional. And in my experience, it is normally the man immediately, has not even unpacked his case and is taken all his clothes off. And then sometimes the lady will take a bit longer or not, or keep her bottoms on the whole week. And I have no problem either way. I'd never had a case, and I've probably had hundreds of people stay here now, where it's the other way around.
I did meet someone at Nude Fest where it was a female on her own because her partner wouldn't come.
Oh, Really? Good for her. Wow.
Exactly. And young as well, like in her 30s.
Yeah. No, I've never had that. No, I haven't. So I've had single males here that haven't taken their trunks off until day 3 or something. And then I just completely ignore it. It doesn't matter whenever they're comfortable. So, and then perhaps, at the end of the week, they're like, oh, that was amazing. I don't know if you noticed, but I had and I said, no.
Good. Men do have body issues as well. It's not just, we don't own the market on body issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying men have their own insecurities as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just not talked about as much, is it? Which is a shame.
Yeah, I think people are starting to now, though. I've covered men's perspectives in H&E a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only, to my experience, within this naturist environment, any of that matters. No one sees you. People see you, like you, the person, not you, the skin or the bits and bobs.
Exactly. And I used to find in theatre world that it was quite materialistic in, what do you do? I'm a writer, I'm a sound operator, I'm a producer or whatever. Whereas in naturism, in the communities, what you do matters the least. In fact, you get to, if you've met somebody a few times and then, oh, you're a whatever. And it's like, oh, a barrister. And it's like, wow, I've seen you for a whole week and I didn't realise because it never cropped up.
That's true.
What do you do? Because it's not important. You get to know them as a person, their views, their comments, their funny anecdotes about life and stuff, not related to what their occupation is.
No.
It's fascinating.
We see a lot of very professional people within naturism. And I think maybe because of the stresses of their jobs or how they have to do their jobs, they turn to naturism to absolutely de-stress.
Yeah.
De-stress. It's all laid bare. It's completely stress-free. And more people are turning to it, aren't they?
Yeah. And also people don't want to talk about what their occupation is because that's what they, spent last week doing. Now they're on their holiday.
Yeah.
They want to chill out. The last thing they want to talk about is work. Yeah, it's just not important. So it's good. It's refreshing and liberating and all those words we all keep saying.
It's true. And thank you for your contribution to the My Word, My Way campaign.
Yeah. It's funny though, because a couple of other people have come up with other words for me. And they must have really thought about it because they've emailed me. And I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. 2 different people who come up with different words for me. Yeah, so it's interesting. But good project though.
Yeah, so let me just explain, because I haven't talked about this yet to our listeners. This campaign is called My Word, My Way, and it was loosely stolen off of American Association of Nude Recreation, who did the WOW campaign. And what they did was have these women paint it on their bodies. And I thought, that's a nice idea. And they made a calendar out of it. So I went to Nude Fest and tried it out on the ladies there. And it became quite the talking point. And we did a photo shoot and all of that. And then I asked women, well, actually, I started it. I was sitting there with a glass of wine one night. Simon had gone to bed and I just started writing about my word and what it meant to me and why I'd chosen that word. And then the next thing I know, I'd create this meme and shared it. And then everyone's going, oh, here's my word. Here's my word. And I thought, oh, great. So it's become a thing.
Oh, brilliant. I think also a calendar is a good idea at some point to put some of those words in, because I love doing it because it really made me think, what does this mean to me?
Same.
Yeah.
Well, it's a campaign that can be ongoing and it can have legs and take itself off in all sorts of different directions.
Yeah.
I love a good idea. Give me ideas. I'm happy always to hear other people's ideas.
Okay. I'm not that brilliant at implementing them. I'm quite happy to have lots of ideas.
Just pass my way.
Okay.
Okay. So, Karie, do you have any pearls of wisdom you can offer us to our wonderful listeners out there, men and women alike, and everything in between?
Pearls of wisdom. Personally, it's the best thing that I've ever done. And I would just encourage everybody to try naturism.
And what else has it given you? What has naturism given you inwardly, aside from the community? What else has it given you?
Confidence. Absolutely. And, like an inner confidence. I believe in myself a lot more than I ever did. Yeah, it's quite hard to voice, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, anything's possible.
And it's one of those things that I 100% agree with you. And most of the women I speak to would say the same thing. It does give you this overwhelming sense of confidence. It's not an arrogance, it's a confidence that I am enough.
Yeah, and I fell in love with myself. And I fell in love with myself through naturism.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, good, because it's true.
Right, well, thank you ever so much, Karie.
Yeah. Okie dokie, bye.
Thank you, Karie. That was wonderful again. It amazes me how this community continues to grow and how the number of listeners are growing with every episode that we do. And women who do experience naturism do end up becoming quite passionate about it. And Karie is a wonderful example of that. So thanks again, Karie. If you'd like to know more about staying at Karie's villa or indeed about the Clover Spa Ladies Only Day, you can find all the links in the show notes. We love to hear from you at Women in Focus, so do write in. Let us know how we're doing. We'll do our best to read all the letters and respond. Also, like and subscribe. It really does help put this podcast in front of new listeners. I've been your host, Helen Berryman. Thanks for listening and hope you'll join us again next time as we bring more women in focus.